right, we'll go ahead and roll into our NASCAR Xfinity Series post-race with the DriveForClots.com 300. We've now been joined by our third-place finisher, driver of the number 20 GameStop Toyota, Erik Jones. And Erik, you earned a third-place finish this afternoon, your career best Xfinity Series finish. Talk a little bit about your run.
Yeah, we've been getting better every week, and definitely proud of everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing for getting these Camrys faster and faster. We've went from the back of the top 10 when I first started running these races now up to the front of the top 10 and feeling like we can contend for wins. So definitely a great feeling as a driver to be running up with Harvick and everybody. And, we just need to get a little bit faster. We're lacking a little bit of speed somewhere, and we're trying to work on it. We got a lot of stuff in production to hopefully help that and find that little piece to get up there and try to grab a win here.
And we've also been joined by our second-place finisher, Brendan Gaughan, driver of the number 62 South Point Chevrolet. And Brendan, a really, really solid run for your team. You finished 6th, 8th, and now 2nd on the West Coast swing. I guess if you had a vote, we'd probably race on the West Coast the whole season. But talk a little bit about the strong run today and coming home 2nd.
We restarts. Shane Wilson and the guys, do a great job of ECR engines, give us great power, and aero shop and all that stuff you have to have at California Speedway is, we have great Camaros with great downforce and great aero, but Shane Wilson does a great job making little bitty adjustments all day. He gave me a great Chevrolet to unload and just little adjustments all day, and then at the end, stuff that I learned. How old are you, Erik?
18.
All right, I was older than him anyway. Stuff that I learned when I was Winston West racing with Shane Wilson, is still what comes into play, and it's all about restarts. And Richard and the transmission shop and the engine shop, they give me some leeway to do what I want and ask for what I want in specifics, and they give it to me, and it shows. That last restart, I went from 8th, and I think in one corner I was right behind Erik, who was, I think, in the front row. I mean, I had a hell of a launch, and it worked perfect like I like it to. You never can say you're going to beat Kevin Harvick on a restart, but, man, I would have loved one shot at a restart. I don't care if I would have finished 5th. I would have loved one shot at a restart just to see if I still got a little something for it. But his Chevrolet was just on a mission today. I mean, that's anytime you can finish an Xfinity Series race to Kevin Harvick, you got to be happy, and I'm glad. I'm pissed off about being 2nd.
And this can be for Brendan or Erik. Out of the top 6 finishers today, Kevin Harvick was the only NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver. So just talk a little bit about what that means for the Xfinity Series and the talent, that's out there competing.
Yeah, it says a lot. I had no idea. I figured that Denny and Brad and everybody would be up there, but just shows that, man, all these Xfinity guys are here for real. We're all get to do it every week. Obviously more than these Cup guys do, and to be able to run with them, I think, shows definitely the strength of some of our programs and the strength of some of the drivers in this field, and definitely cool to be racing against some of the best guys in this sport, and that level of competition is something that I think drives all of us to be better and better every week, and just keep improving. Everybody does, and it's fun to try to keep up and see what's next.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions for Erik or Brendan. If you have one, please raise your hand and state your name and affiliation, and we'll start up front.
Hey, Brendan, Taylor Starr with NASCAR.com. You guys have had a really great showing in the West Coast, but now you're going to have a break until April. So what are you guys going to do to keep that momentum going?
Well, I don't really get one. I'm racing my Premium Motorsports Chevrolet at Martinsville. So I'll be going to Martinsville, and I'll have what I'm considering an easy weekend all of a sudden because I only have to do one race car. I don't know where I decided that I was going to turn 40 years old this year and do double duty all season. I don't know what brainchild this was, but I'm still not sure. And then on my week off, I got 1 week off this year because of that. So I'm gonna head to Roatan with my kids and let my kids go zip line off a 400-foot high zip line, so everybody can be mad at me for being parent of the year. Go scuba diving and try to get my little bit of relaxation in. Come back tuned up and ready to go for 31 straight weeks or 30 straight weeks. So I'm looking forward to both.
Bob Hockers, ESPN. Brendan, on one of the telecasts, they said that you had said something about how running the Cup car is helping you. Can you talk about, obviously Premium isn't the most well-funded Cup team.
They're hardworking guys.
Yeah, so how does running a car like that help you on Saturdays?
It's helping me in a lot of ways. So the main thing is I'm getting on the racetrack first in a Cup car. So when, first of all, Shane Wilson's going to unload a Chevrolet that's close already. But instead of going out there and where do you lift? Where, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. You kind of know, but you also kind of get a little old some days and go, how far do I want to push it? I can get that out of the way in the Premium Motorsports Chevrolet. I get extra time to kind of know where I want to go. I'm working my brain to try to keep them getting faster and get them getting better. So it helps me as far as giving feedback to that other car. It just gives me more race cars to feel. And then in the end, it's helping me with the points racing. I really like what it's doing for the big picture, because I'm trying to learn how to race that race car and look at points in a completely different way so we can keep making races. And I've never looked at racing that way. I've never been in a situation like that. So it's helping me in the big picture side on this side, that I'm racing different now than I ever have and looking at points differently than I ever have. And I think it's going to make me better at the end of the year.
All right, we'll go to Kay next. Go ahead, Kay.
Kay Presto, carsandcompetition.com. This is for Eric. Would you describe what moves you made that you felt moved you? I know you started on the pole and then you were back a little bit. What moves kept you up to third and kept you there?
Well, we started on the pole, led some laps, and then obviously Kevin, I think, got around us first. I'm not exactly sure, but the restarts are crazy. We got stuck on the bottom every restart, so yeah, lost more than a couple spots every time, and just seemed to have our car really come in 10 to 15 laps into a run, and it seemed like it really kind of came to life, and we were able to work the middle down to 1 and 2 really well, and maintain in 3 and 4, and made a lot of moves on the top of 1 and 2, getting around people where they'd either still be on the bottom, and we were able to just kind of roll the top. But made a lot of adjustments all day, trying to get the thing a little bit better. Just got tight as the run went on, and just couldn't quite get that out of it. It seemed like every run we'd go back to the same tight, which we'll have to figure out something to get that away. Obviously the 88 and Brendan were better than us in that aspect, and we'll go back and keep working on it. A fast game stop Camry, but man, it's hard to run third. We want to win, and we're trying to get there.
Any additional questions for Eric or Brendan? Okay, we'll come up front.
Hey, Brendan, when your last pit stop there, you got it right after you pitted, the yellow flag came out. How much did that help you in getting up there?
I think that worked out really well for us. I saw the debris on the racetrack because I was behind Stanton when he hit the wall, and we hadn't pitted yet. And I was screaming to Shane. I go, the problem is NASCAR also, if a driver's screaming for a caution, normally he wants the caution for a reason. So NASCAR's very, very, they're not that gullible. They're not going to believe you every time. And I was like, there's something there. So we kept staying out waiting. And then finally Shane said, we got to come in. We came in, they threw the caution. It worked out great because I had a set of stickers on, the guys in front of me. Eric had probably pitted maybe 5 or 6 laps beforehand. So he had 5, 6 laps now, a heat cycle on his tires. I didn't. So all those things did help us in the end. It worked out in our favor. I still would have rather had the caution come out and then been the only guy there in the lead. So that would have been fun. But, it was definitely, it worked out well for us.
Great. We'll go upstairs. Are there any questions in the press box?
Just one. Chris Knight, catchfans.com. For Brendan, what kind of statement is RCR making to be championship caliber material this early in the season? Brian Scott's getting momentum. You've got momentum. And now Ty Dillon continues to lead the standings.
First of all, it's very scary that the voice from above is Chris Knight. I just want to start with that. No, RCR is definitely, we know they're a championship caliber team, and I guess Austin had some issue today, which they were leading the owners' points coming in, so that was that's a pretty bummer of a blow for that. But Ty struggled a little bit this week, but ECR and RCR in this West Coast swing has been fantastic. I mean, Brian Scott, what am I looking at? He looks like he came home 6th today. I don't know if he led some laps. I think he might have. And we were strong. The 33 was strong. So ECR motors, have great horsepower, especially when it comes to tracks like this. And RCR has put a ton of effort into these race cars in particular, and they're working great. I can't wait to get back to Texas.
And Eric, heading into next week, you will compete in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at Martinsville. Talk a little bit about, you've spent a lot of time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series the last few weeks, but you do compete full-time in the Camping World Truck Series. Talk a little bit about going into Martinsville and that championship hunt there.
Yeah, it's been funny. I feel like I'm driving full-time Xfinity right now, but, it's fun to get back in the truck. I think we all enjoy that, and getting back with KBM and everybody over there, and we've got some fast Tundras, and we got a new package for Martinsville that I'm looking forward to getting to run. So had a good showing there last fall, ended up 4th, I think, and be fun to go back and try to go get a win. That's a place I'd really love to win at, and we're I think we're third in the standings right now, just a couple points out. So it's definitely early in the season, but we're all looking forward to really getting the Truck Series going and getting that points battle on the way.
All right. Any final questions for Erik or Brendan? All right. Congratulations, guys, on a great run.
Thanks. Come on. Oh, yeah, it's working now. Hey, I'm Dalen Hart Jr. The car owner of the winning car today. So this is what I think. We've been Kevin's automatic pretty much every time he gets in the car. He does a great job. And so we're real happy that he's, doing such a great job for us. And we're looking forward to, what we can do the rest of the year. He's going to be in the car several times. So he said he always kind of wanted to get a win here. And so I was happy that we were part of that when he could get that win. It's just, I've said it 100 times, but he obviously is an amazing race car driver, and I don't think I talked to Rodney Childers a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how we don't, we're just kind of realizing just how good of a driver he is, and he was way better than anybody ever thought. So, he proved that last year winning the championship, and with the speed they got, they got an amazing team, but. He really he's a great driver. He's very driven, and that he does his effort really continues outside the car, and that's how we get faster, and that's how our program gets better. He puts as much effort outside of the car into what we're doing as he does inside the car, and he's real plugged in. Just the simplest details about the car and how he thinks it can be better and how we can perform better. He's real plugged in, so one of a kind type of guy, and so we're glad to be able to work with Kevin and Dave as a crew chief's done a great job this year. We knew he was going to be a good talent, so excited about his future as well, and glad that he's working with us at Junior Motorsports, and glad we're able to give him a good opportunity too. So it's been a lot of fun. Last year was great with Kevin. This year's been awesome too. I think the other two cars are starting to pick up a little speed. Regan had some pretty good moments today where his car was happy, and Chase got a good run there at the end to get up some spots. So I think we're starting to get a little better across the board. And we started off a little slow, but I anticipate us being very competitive the rest of the year and racing for the championship. But, happy for Tax Slayer. Winning a race in tax season does a lot for them. It's very important that they get that exposure at this particular time of the year, especially. So you can understand how important that is toward our sponsorship with them. And so I'm excited that Kevin was able to deliver. I swung and missed twice, and Kevin got in there and got the job done. So we're real happy about that.
And Dale, this is the 5th NASCAR Xfinity Series race of the season. JRM has now won 2 of those. Talk a little bit about how much momentum that gives the teams heading into this 2-week open races on the schedule.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of their schedule, but they'd like to be at the racetrack and continue to progress and continue to build on their momentum. The 7 and the 9 car especially, but that time away gives them opportunity to prepare, opportunity to talk and share notes, try to figure out how each of the teams can help each other. But the drivers would like to be out on the racetrack, and the crews would too, just to be able to be working and getting better. But I'm looking, me personally, looking forward to Martinsville. I know Chase is going to Martinsville to try to attempt his first Cup race. There'll be a lot of publicity surrounding that particular attempt, and we're hoping that he does really well, and I expect him to. So he's going to be busy, but it's
it's a long season, and it's a different point system than what we run in the Cup level, so they got to be real methodical, and I like the things that I'm seeing out of all the cars, the 7 and the 9 particularly.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions for Dale. If you have one, please state your name and affiliation. All right, we'll start with Holly and Bob. Go ahead.
Well, I was actually going to ask you a little bit about Chase and next week, and any advice, any way to help prepare him for his first Cup start? I was talking to his dad earlier, and he said, it's a little bit different with him because people maybe have high expectations, even though this is going to be his first start.
Yeah, certainly. I've read a lot of books about the history of the sport, and his first race is going to be quite a big spectacle compared to Bill's first attempt, and Bill came to several races before anybody ever took real notice, and driving the old Mercury that he bought from Penske. And I think that it's a good racetrack. Martinsville's a short track, and Chase is very experienced at racing on short tracks with all his little late model cars and stuff. So the style of racing is really going to be familiar to him, and that should make him more comfortable. And also, I love going to Martinsville, and it's one of the funnest races. But when it comes to the exposure of the event, maybe it's a nicer, less explosive. It's different than maybe trying out for the 600, making that your first event, or the Daytona 500, or Indianapolis, or something like that. So this will be a event that I think he can walk in and feel comfortable in. The environment will be comfortable to him, so he's not going to be overwhelmed. We've seen him not get overwhelmed about anything. Nothing really bothers that boy, so I think that he'll be just fine. He puts so much pressure on himself. That's probably the only thing that I think that he could probably work on, is just not to be so hard on himself. And everybody wants to improve, and everybody knows that he wants to improve, and you're never satisfied as a driver, no matter how well the car drives or where you finish. But he doesn't need to be that difficult and critical of himself. He can just get in there and have fun, relax. He is, nobody expects anything out of him in his first race. Just get in there and run laps and have fun, get the experience. And I think he's going to do great. So I don't think he has anything to worry about.
All right, Bob, go ahead.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. We've all been writing for a week about how Harvick's won 4 of the last 6 Cup races, dating back to last year. We're just wow. What's drivers' reaction to what he's done?
I don't think anybody's surprised. I think that everybody, as drivers, we're as close as anybody to what's going on in the garage and who's fast and who's competitive, and everybody's kind of seen this kind of coming, I think, and anticipated. They could have done this last year. They just kept having them little weird gremlins, whether it was mechanical or just error, maybe a bad pit call or some trouble on pit road, whatever. They were fast every week, especially the first half of the year before anybody saw it. Anybody really knew it. They should have won a lot of races last year that they didn't win, and I'm sure they'd agree with that. They got something figured out, and I think that they're doing some things very clever. And Kevin's an amazing driver. Like I said, he's very focused, and his work outside the car helps him inside the car and helps his team. He's at times his own crew chief in a way about preparing and building and improving the program as a whole. So, knowing that, he's going to be hard to beat every week. Rodney's an amazing talent on the pit box, and they just got some amazing speed in practice. They'll, like at Vegas, and at practice they're like 3/10 faster than everybody else, and you're just like, golly, what have they got going on? And it don't last forever, so he's got to enjoy it while it's happening, and sooner or later, what they know will be common knowledge, and somebody will be in search of the next advantage and find it. But they've got it right now, so it's our job to go out there and try to get smart and figure out what they're doing that's helping their cars and helping Kevin. So Kevin's very sharp, very clever, and so I don't think anybody's too surprised. Finally, they're able to put together races, and when you're the fastest car every week, you're going to win your share.
All right. Are there any questions for Dale in the press box?
One question, Wolfgang Monser, Rennsport Press Agency from Germany. Dale, despite you have a very busy schedule with your Sprint Cup program, do you have regular day-to-day involvement in your team? Maybe when time allows, do you also test your cars, your Xfinity cars, maybe?
Yeah, I don't test any cars, and I'm not hands-on day-to-day. My sister Kelly runs a business from day to day, hour to hour. Ryan Pemberton's a big part of the competition side of it. He's hands-on minute to minute. And L.W. Miller's in there helping us with a lot of decisions as well, sort of bridging the gap between Pemberton and Kelly. L.W. Has been a huge help, sort of helping Kelly stay connected to the competition side of it. She makes a lot of decisions that are more business decisions and things going on upstairs with licensing and so forth and sponsorships. So LW's been a great addition to the company. We got a lot of people that work there. All the crew chiefs and everybody, sort of lends a hand to management and the day-to-day operations. Everybody's doing a great job. It's really a homegrown effort, and we got a lot of regional people still there. But we also bring in a lot of folks that we're trying to bring up through the ranks, or Hendrick's trying to bring up through the ranks. And it's a great system that seems to be working really well over the last couple of years.
All right, go ahead.
Kathy Brown, pittingoutsidethebox.com. Kind of bouncing off of what you were asked earlier about Kevin Harvick's domination. Does it worry you that Kurt Busch in his second race back has come on so strong with Stuart Haas, and where they were the satellite team of Hendrick's, now seems like they're becoming the dominant team? Have you guys started talking to Kurt or to Kevin?
We all share information. I mean, that's sort of the advantage to being able to partner up with those guys, is to be able to work with them on setups and whatever else is going on. I mean, I know what Kevin's putting in his race car. We just got to go out there and make it work. So nothing Kurt does surprises me. He's always been a real shoe on the racetrack, and he's got a great team. Basically, that team that he's with is the old 8 Budweiser team, and I know most of those guys, and have a lot of faith in their ability. And I think Kurt's another guy that's a bit of a driver / crew chief. He can drive the car and from the seat make a lot of great decisions and choices on what nuts and bolts to change on his car and make it faster. So he's really, really sharp behind the wheel. So that nothing he does really surprises me either.
All right, we'll go upstairs for an additional question for Dale.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. First of all, who's going to be Chase's crew chief next week at Martinsville?
Hey, Kenny Francis is the crew chief.
Okay, super. And can you just talk a little bit about what you have in your car tomorrow? I mean, how do you think you're going to hold up?
I really like my car. We worked on, trying to get the balance where we wanted to, and I think we did a good job of that. I liked our lap times. We don't set the world on fire the first 2 or 3 laps, but after about 4 or 5 laps, we're one of the best cars. So it's going to be real hard to pass. I think, you've got to do some good job. You got to do some good things on pit road and do some great things on restarts and be aggressive.
Dale, thanks for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck tomorrow.
All right.
We've now been joined by our race-winning team, winning driver Kevin Harvick, and joined by his crew chief, Dave Azell. And Kevin, we'll talk with you. Pretty successful run here. You started winning with the NASCAR Xfinity race win in Atlanta. You've since won the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races at Vegas and Phoenix, and then you come here today and take home another Xfinity win at Auto Club. So talk a little bit about the run and also how your run today can potentially help you tomorrow.
Well, first off, I'm fortunate to be to be a part of 2 really good race teams, and Dale Jr. and Mr. Hendrick give us a lot of resources to draw from. We were able to assemble a great group of guys this year, a new group of guys that obviously had worked together probably at least from lead engineer and Dave a while, but these guys have come in and we communicate well and have had 3 fairly good weeks while I've been in the car and while everybody's learning and getting comfortable with each other. So I think anytime that you can go to victory lane and make some good decisions on I really feel like we've made good decisions all 3 weeks that we've been in the car and had competitive runs. So just a lot of fun to drive the race cars right now. I feel like for me as the driver, making laps around this place and knowing what seam does what and what patch does what and when to go low and when to go high. I feel like the more laps I can make, the better off I'm going to be for tomorrow. So today was definitely something that I'm happy that I was in the car, and we've been close to winning a lot of times here, but today was a day that was just pretty much flawless from start to finish. The car was loose. Dave made great adjustments on the first pit stop, and we got the track position in the lead on that restart, and the guys on pit road just did a great job. So just really fortunate to be the guy that gets to drive all these cars and celebrate all the success with 2 good groups of guys.
And Dave, this was your first year being a crew chief, and so far not a bad track record. 5 NASCAR Xfinity races, 2 wins. So talk a little bit about, from your vantage point, not just about when Kevin's in the car, but when you have other drivers driving as well, just how the teams gel together.
Yeah, with Kevin in the car, it's definitely helped us grow and expand what we know. With all the other drivers, it's just fun getting to know everybody. Like it's. We spent a little bit of time with Kevin, a little bit of time with Dale so far, and that time is just invaluable to get to know them and have fun at the racetrack. I had a lot of fun today. I couldn't sit down for the Atlanta race, the whole race, so this one was fun for me.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions for Kevin or Dave. If you have one, please state your name and affiliation and raise your hand, and we'll start in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, Richard Marcello with Entertainment Sports Today. You won today. What do you think that'll help you with tomorrow? What have you learned, and what did you want to not learn?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is, just reiterated where my pit road markers were for green flag pit stops. We had, good green flag pit stops today. Felt comfortable with my pit road speed and knowing where to run, taking off, and where you need to be 10 laps into the run are pretty similar in the cars as you go from Saturday to Sunday. So a lot of similarities and a lot of things that I feel like if you can get that last 10th or 2 out of the race car, just knowing where you need to be is important. And as the race progresses tomorrow, you hopefully will start the race and know where we need to be on the racetrack, and we can make good adjustments and talk about a lot of things with Rodney and Mike tonight as we go through the evening to make decisions tomorrow.
All right, additional questions? All right, we'll come up front to Kay, and then we'll go upstairs.
Kay Presto, carsandcompetition.com. How much is this going to affect the handling of the cars tomorrow? What with the Infinity rubber that's down today?
Well, it's the same tire. So I think as you look at the 2 cars having the same tires, I think as you look at the top groove, especially in 3 and 4, there's some ripple bumps that kind of created today that really got a lot of rubber in that you have to kind of be careful with getting into 3. And there's definitely a blacker groove right up next to the wall. So that's the fortunate thing about everything that's happening right now is on the same tire, and with the power out and the gear out of the Cup cars, there's a lot of similarities with Saturday races.
Any questions upstairs?
ChrisKnightCatchFence.com. Kevin, this is your 28th consecutive top 10 finish in Xfinity going back to 2013. What is it that you're able to do with RCR and Harvick and our Junior Motorsports that's able to bring those organizations to those kinds of results?
Well, I love being a part of what happens with the cars. These guys, obviously come up with the setups, and it's like I told you guys, this yesterday morning or whenever the last time I was in here. I like to be a part of the process. I don't like to tell them what to do. I like to be a part of direction. And when you're talking about direction, it's about not what spring or shock is on the car. It's about, well, I think this is really loose, or I think this is a little bit loose, or I think that the splitter's hitting the ground, or I think that, you know, the car's bouncing too much, or whatever the case may be. I like to be a part of that direction and talk through it. So, you know, fortunately, I have crew chiefs and engineers that can interpret, you know, what I'm feeling, and they make good decisions on direction, on deciding how much we need to go on whatever direction it is. So I like to be a part of that. I like to, you know, I probably wore Dave out this week a little bit with looking at pictures and different things with our car from last week. But I think that those things, those 2 or 3 little things that we may have taken from last week, you know, I think probably benefited us this week. And as these guys get more comfortable with just the preparation of the cars and really what they're looking for, it becomes better little piece at a time. It's not like you're looking for huge chunks of things right now. You're just looking to nitpick things and really get the details worked out.
Any additional questions upstairs?
No further questions.
All right, we'll come back downstairs.
Back to cars and competition. Kevin, tire wear tomorrow. Does this give you any indication on how the tire wear will be?
Yeah, we don't have any issues with tire wear. I think that
No, they were good.
they were good. They were good today. They've been good in practice. So I think tires are really good. Yeah, I mean, Goodyear's, you know, they spent the time and money to come out here and test, and obviously we had some tire issues last year that they worked through with the new rules package, and I think when you look at the backstretch and how rough it is, I think when you look at the job that they've done and the tire that they've created for this particular weekend, you know, hopefully it continues with no failures as we go throughout the weekend.
Any final questions downstairs? Kevin, before we let you go, just quickly, leading into next week's race at Martinsville, Martinsville is such a unique track. It's real, obviously historic, but it's one of the oldest tracks we visit on the circuit. Just talk a little bit about what makes Martinsville special, and obviously, you know, your outlook going into the race next week.
Well, I think when you look at Martinsville, you know that you know you're gonna probably get hit by somebody, and you're probably gonna hit somebody before the weekend is all said and done. But I think there's a lot of things that we have to work through this particular time with the new gear rule and the less horsepower. I think that's going to be the place that it's probably you know, the most noticeable from what we do. So we ran well at both races last year. We got, you know, we broke at one and got tore up at the other one. So I don't think the results really show how good our car was. But looking forward to going back because I can drive to the racetrack.
All right, one final question up front. We'll let you guys go.
Hi there, Jason Residlo from AmericaJR.com. Now, since you're from Bakersfield, would you say this is your home track, and how excited are you to win here?
Well, I'm excited to win here. The only thing we've won here in the past was one Cup race. We've been really close to winning in the Xfinity Series here in the past, but yeah. So I grew up about hour 20, hour 30 from here. Depends on how fast you want to drive from here to there. So you know, all in all, had a good week there. We you know, we did a lot of good things with the town this weekend and at the Boys and Girls Club, and just have enjoyed this West Coast swing, not only for the success, but just being able to spend time with a lot of people that you don't get to see very much throughout the year.
All right, congratulations on your win. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.